The Chris Watts Story. Hey all you cool crooks and killers, welcome back to True Crime Now, your number one source on the internet for your daily dose of true crime. Today we're going to be talking about Christopher Watts and the murders that captured the nation's headlines and still do even to this day. While many of us know some of the details, new evidence has come to light recently that has given more insight into the case. Let's dive into the story. The beginning. The Watts family murder shocked the country and the world with all the twists and turns that happened in such a short time. One moment it seemed that Shanann and their two daughters had disappeared, with Chris appearing on television pleading for their safe return. Then the next minute he admitted to murdering his wife, but only after he said she had murdered their daughters. The lies continued to pile up from here. When Chris and Shanann became husband and wife, who would have known what was going to happen in such a short amount of time after their wedding in 2012? The couple had two daughters and another baby, a boy named Nico on the way. From the outside, they seemed to be the American dream family. Unfortunately, looks can be deceiving. The family had declared bankruptcy in 2015, but they were still thousands of dollars in debt. Credit cards, student loans, overdue association fees for the neighborhood, and an affair were the real story of this family. Chris was having an affair with his coworker, Nico. Both worked for Anadarko Petroleum. During this time, Shanann was a stay-at-home mom, looking after their two daughters and working as an independent contractor. In the early morning of August 13th, 2018, Shanann, 15 weeks pregnant at that time, and her two daughters would no longer be part of this world. Their deaths and bodies wouldn't be discovered till August 15th and 16th. The murders. The relationship was very strained leading up to the murders. Chris was being cold to his wife and always disappearing, saying he was going to work out and finding excuses to go places without the family. According to the texts between Shanann and her friends, she even questioned if her husband was getting cold feet regarding the new baby and wondered if he regretted it. In reality, Chris wanted to separate from his wife altogether and leave his family behind to be with Kessinger. After arguing with Shanann on the morning of August 13th, Chris drugged Shanann with oxycodone, trying to poison her and cause a miscarriage. Divorce, the most obvious and normal way to go about separation, was not going through Chris's mind at all. Just murder. During the argument, Chris got up from the bed and went and smothered their two children, though neither died at this point according to later testimony. When Chris got back to the bedroom, the argument continued on and on about separation and divorce before the oxy kicked in. Chris then strangled Shanann in a fit of rage, causing her death. Their daughter Bella saw her mom lying there after she woke up from the smothering. Chris was wrapping Shanann in a blanket, telling Bella they needed to take mommy to the hospital. Of course, they never went to the hospital. CCTV footage shows Chris loading up his truck with some items before leaving the house. Chris drove to his old workplace to get rid of Shanann's body and to kill his two daughters as well. After burying Shanann in a shallow grave near his work site, Chris returned to his daughters and smothered them again with a blanket, successfully killing them this time. He buried them in the oil tanks at his old work site. Yep, he turned into a psychopath. Or maybe he always was one. The confession. Shanann's friend Nicole, a different Nicole than Chris's mistress, became concerned after Shanann didn't show up for any meetings or appointments. Very unlike her. She contacted the police and local authorities reached out to Chris. When officers arrived at the house, Chris let them in and the lies began to unravel rapid fire. He claimed to know little to nothing about his missing family, and it was clear that his concern was forced, if not just for himself. First thing of note was Shanann's wedding ring that was left on the bed, with other possessions like her purse and things you'd normally leave the house with. Also, the home security footage of a neighbor didn't back up Chris's story about his wife leaving with their 2 daughters when Chris went to work. This all led to the police suspecting Chris of being guilty of lying. But of what else? They weren't sure yet. When Chris was brought to the station after a television interview, pleading for his family to return, Chris failed a polygraph test. While polygraphs aren't used in court cases, this scared Chris enough to ask to see his father. When his father was alone with him in the room, on camera of course, Chris confessed to killing Shanann, but not his 2 daughters. Chris kept up this story all the way until the trial. The end of the story? Eventually, Chris confessed to murdering his children in addition to Shanann on that fateful morning. This family was torn apart by a man's affair and lack of control in a situation where he was responsible and trusted by his children and wife. In November 2018, Chris was sentenced to a total of 5 life sentences for the murder of his unborn child, Bella, Celeste, and Shanann. He will never see parole or life out of prison ever again. While these types of murders typically fall under the family annihilation category, this one is unique, as Chris didn't do the more typical murder-suicide family murder. Chris murdered everyone else involved and then went looking for something else. He texted his girlfriend that same day and had every intention of still being with her. He showed no remorse in court. Chris has now apparently found religion while in a maximum security prison in Wisconsin. But if Chris is remorseful for the murders, it's going to take more than just finding religion to make anyone believe it. What do you think about this strange murder? Did you know he was lying from the start? Do you still think there is more to learn about this case? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that notification bell to stay updated with our newest videos. And like and subscribe for more true crime stories. Stay tuned for the next killer story. Pun may be intended. Thanks for watching, and until next time, don't be embarrassed to sleep with the lights on.